Hello, everybody. This is a voiceover recording of a Salotto match I played with Ed Caulfield. At the time of recording, 494 Fargo. I'm a 665 Fargo at this point. Playing at his house. It's going to be 10 ball, race to 9, and it's all going to get reported to Fargo. So we're just going to do an analysis here. Dry break. I think I can hit the edge of the 1 here, so I'm going to try to play safety. Yeah, just banking the ball. Here I know that it's more about just making him jump because I know he's going to jump the ball typically here. And then where the 1 is compared to the 2, I don't believe that even if he does make it, that he's going to have a good shot. It's like, so I played it to create that extra distance in case he does make the shot. Nearly made it. See, from where he ended up, he was going to have to probably play a move or some sort. So I was like, okay with leaving that jump. So here I'm going to play low left, draw the ball, and try to get a good angle on the 2 so I can cut the 3 in. The 2 does go in the side. I'm using the bridge here, so I'm not sure quite what's going to happen. Little extra stroke. I went maybe like 6 inches to a foot beyond where I really wanted to go. Like ideally it would have been like a stop shot or like even cut to the left so I can go to the side rail. Because I think really what I wanted to do is be kind of where the 3, where the cue ball is right now for the 3. The 4 does not pass to go to the corner. So what I have to do here is play right English and try to bump the balls. You know, at the beginning of the set, I haven't hit too many balls on this table today, so just a few before this match. So a lot of this is just getting dialed in with the equipment. And diamonds play really consistent, so it's not too much of a challenge. This table is the same cloth, kind of in the same condition that my table is in. I have a Brunswick, which plays different. The rails are definitely a little bit different, but these are pretty standardized. So I like playing on the diamonds. I get pretty comfortable pretty quickly. That was not a foul. He just hit the 4 with his cue. And I normally just let the balls just lay where they are because it's not that big of a deal. Once in a while, we'll put it back, but I mean, it's not much difference in my opinion. I don't think I can cut it in. It was just too thin, so I just play safe. I was trying to play the cue ball down to the end, like the corner pocket, and using the 9 and the 10 as blockers. But I underrolled it, so I left him this combo. Pretty good shot. If he would have hit it thinner, which then he could have ended up with a shot on the easier shot on the corner. So now I'm looking pretty good here. Got away with it. Just trying to play him just above it and then play the 4 into the same corner as the 3. Now I'm just going to play one rail, two rails for the 5 on the side. Now here, I don't think I try to hold it. I'm just going to play it 2 rails around the 5, around the 6. But I hit it not as good as I'd like, but this is going to be fine. So now it's just punch over, leave us a little bit of an angle for the 8. I don't want to be straight in. I want to have a little bit of an angle to go one rail, or maybe like withdraw or forward. If I get really straight, then I can just go to the middle of the table by going forward. Here I ended up with the angle that I wanted, which is just going to be to use like touch a low and right to come in straight in on the 9. Now here I think I'm just going to draw over to the right side to shoot the 10 in the same corner as the 9. And this is mostly low. Oh, I went back across to get a good, better stroke on it. I guess it was thinner than I was thinking that it was from this view. That's right. Underhit it just a little bit. If I would have came out like an inch or two off the rail, that would have been great. This is pretty manageable. So the score is 1-0. That's probably my best break of the whole set, honestly. After I hit that one, I was basically just trying to chase it the whole time. Been working on my 10-ball break. It's coming along, but it's been a while since I really competed consistently. So I haven't been spending that much time on it. I've mostly been just like practicing drills and whatnot. But I'm trying to get more into doing these Salotto matches, so hopefully it seems like it's going to help doing all the analysis. Alright, so I'm going to play this 2-ball in the side, and I'm going to try to play for the window between the 5 and the 9, so like 3 rails back around. Now this is just a center ball, a little bit low, and just try to punch it. Now here, the natural angle from the 4, possibly you could be interfering with the 7, so I'm going to hit this a little bit to the right side of the corner pocket, and so it's a little bit full. And I'm going to use draw and right English and try to get just a little bit of a grab on the rail, which I get so that I can get this angle so I don't have to interfere with any of these balls. And here, this is just low and a little bit of right. And here I wanted to maintain this angle so that I can just play for the 7 in the side. 1, maybe 2 rails. I think I play this 2 rails. A little bit too hard. Overrolled my position for the side shot, so I think I have to shoot the corner here, which is a little bit tricky because I can bump the 9. I think I ended up bumping the 9 here. Totally got away with it. was trying to maintain a little bit of a space off the rail, but I got really close. Ended up missing it. Can't be too concerned though. When you miss the ball, you just try to take your licks, learn your lesson, move on. I realized I didn't take my time looking at that 10 because it was straight in. I didn't give enough credit for being difficult because it was like I had to roll it in. All right, scores 1-1. It's Ed break. We're just doing alternate break. I think as I play better players, we might start doing winter break, or anyone that chooses to want to do winter break can obviously do that. But I think alternate break's a good format for this Salotto thing. This was a better break, but he didn't no action on the after the break here, so I think he's gonna have to roll out. I don't see much point in jumping here. If the 2 doesn't pass the 7, I might roll out just further away. He rolls out to a jump shot, which I will never take a jump shot hardly as part of the rollout. Unless it was a really like easy out if I make the jump. But I know he just got that jump cue he said the other day, so he's working on it. I'm trying to play safe here. I don't think I have a shot to make the 2 without scratching. So what I was trying to do is bank the 2 towards the spot and then have the cue ball run all the way down to the end rail. Alright, so Ed's in a good spot here. Just a little bit of like stun to just go to the end, the side rail and back for this for the 3. Or I guess he could have rolled it. Looks like if he would have just rolled it, it would have been fine too. But he missed it. So now I know I'm going to bump into these balls when I make this, so I'm trying to do it on purpose here. And I'm trying to ideally hit the 8 full or the 5 full and then shoot the 3 in the side. But I clip the 8 and then hit the 5 full, so now the 8 is blocking it. And there's like a carom angle here from the side of the 3 and make the 5 on the side, so I end up trying to shoot that shot. There'd be merit to making that, because if I was to thin it properly and make it, then I'd probably end up having a shot. So I ended up just barely missing the 3 and made the 5. So he has ball in hand. Now here I either like shooting the 3 in either corner and rolling down slightly. You can shoot this shot with draw. It's also a good shot. Maybe the better shot. This would be just straight follow. I think Ed is still getting his ducks in a row here. Part of the purpose of this is just to like feel the competition, knowing that there's something on the line, even if it's more of just Salotto or like Fargo points, and then knowing that I'm going to be trying to play good pool as well, because I also have the Salotto points. So It simulates the pressure, I think. Um, I've done a few of these now, and obviously I have more like competition experience than Ed, so I'm comfortable more so than he is. But he will figure it out. So now this is all about getting from the 8 to the 9. So ideally, I'd like to shoot the 8 in the corner and then go down to the end rail and back up into that window. So I'm trying to leave myself an angle. I had to shoot it left-handed. I put a little bit too much spin on it. So it kind of straight, so now I just have to draw over. I don't want to use a stroke to try to spin the cue ball to the side rail. Would be a little bit risky, so now I just got to play the speed. If I had a little bit more angle, I'd just punch out. I think I'm looking good to just go forward and then get to the end rail and bump back out and shoot the 10 in the side here. And this is like no English, because when it hits the side rail, it'll add a little bit of running, and that would cause it to come off the rail. So I didn't need necessarily to use any spin, which would make the shot more difficult. Yeah, here I'm just going to like make the 10 and draw to avoid having anything weird happen. Okay, so it's 2-1. Yeah, so far it looks like I've just basically taken advantage of the nerves. That was almost the same as the other one. I hit it too hard, and then so the cue ball popped and scratched instead of popping and staying on the table. So from here, the 4 is tricky. I might play for a bank shot. I don't know about the combo. You could potentially give yourself an angle to shoot the 3 in the side and then go down to the end rail and then back up into those balls. I think Ed ran it a little bit too far, so he's on the wrong side of the ball. Just going to roll it in. Now you can play safe. Yeah, I think he ends up playing safe. Tries to go behind the 8 with the 4. I just leave the cue ball on the end rail. Just clips the side of it and sells out here. So I'm going to try to make the 4 in the corner and then go 2 rails for the 5 with just low and left. I need to get a longer extension for my cue. Missed it. Got lucky. Yeah, so here just a jump shot's probably the right shot. And you gotta like hit it with some pace to try to give yourself an opportunity to come back around for the 5, either using follow or 2 rail back with draw. Where it was at, even if you're super accurate, you might have even played rail first to try to go forward. I don't know. I think just kicking behind the ball. I don't know if he put some unintentional English on that. Looked like it came up really short. I was going to play that and that other side, the other corner, and then use draw, but I just like to just play left and follow here so I can go naturally through the middle of the table to end up on that 6. And once I'm like close to straight in, I can either go forward with right English. I could leave myself an angle on the 7 in the corner. And I wasn't trying to get necessarily on the other side. I wanted to play this side pocket and then go either 1 or 2 or 3 rails for the 8. Yeah, so I just play that with like low right. Not so much low to make it come back to the side rail. I just need to straighten it out and then use the right English to turn it. So here all I gotta do is just make it and end up straight in on the 10, 1 rail, high ball, no English. All right, score's 3-1. Been doing pretty well so far of capitalizing on Ed's mistakes, and I haven't had any negative consequences for my own mistakes. So that's pretty much how it goes. I'm going to play safe here. I like when the ball's in the middle of the table, like side to side. A lot of times I'll just try to bank it down to the opposite middle diamond on the end rail and then leave my cue ball ideally behind another ball. So here I'm going to do that shot by playing the cue ball under the 5 and then banking the 1 kind of towards the 10 really. And I hit at pretty good speed. So he's in a really tough spot. And this shot makes sense for me because if I do get ball in hand, then the 2 and the 1 are close together. So I played it down there so I don't have to move the cue ball as much either as like a secondary order effect. I left him basically the 2 railer kick shots like the only real legit hit. He could play 1 rail, but then you'd be elevated over the 5, and that's really tough. So he gave me ball in hand. And a lot of my strategy when I'm playing guys is that if you're starting off a little slow, I mainly just try to control as much as I can and take advantage of that little bit of weakness that people a lot of times will show at the beginning of matches. You know, even though I'm still trying to get comfortable also, I'm just trying to make good decisions so that I can keep control of it, of the table as much as I can, and then just make it a little bit more difficult for them to get comfortable. So that shot I was considering just like doing a little bit of like a nip draw, but the follow shot, 1 rail, made more sense, just rolling. That way you're going right into the line of the next shot versus going across the line, across the zone. Here I could play it, keep it close to the rail for the 4 in the opposite corner. I try to come out a little bit further, but I don't come out far enough. So now I'm trying to go forward. And I was thinking that I was going to bump to 6 if I made it. And that would have helped me most likely. That's why I hit it a little bit hard and the cue ball went so far. It came out pretty nice here. I think what I like doing here is using like inside English and trying to just go right between the 8 and the rail. Ideally, you want to touch the rail right where the 8 is at and just barely get there. The problem is you're not leaving yourself an angle for the 6 to the 7 if you do that. So it was kind of an interesting spot. Ed goes for this bank shot. Here, I almost played safe, but I end up just trying to like hit the 6 as soft as possible to barely roll it in to hold the cue ball for the 7. Oh no, I ended up playing safe. Yeah, that shot wasn't. I guess it wasn't there. Ed's going for this jump bank shot, which Ed's really good at jumping, so I don't blame him for any of this. Double kiss left me just enough of the 6 to touch it, but I'm not going to try to make it. It's so far from the hole. I don't know if I can get that much of a speed on it, so I'm just trying to cut it thin and then go behind the 9 or the 8. And then obviously the 10 is there too. He's going to kick a 2-railer, which I like. Missed it. And again, this just goes with my strategy of just keeping him off balance because he's not playing that well at this point, you know. It's like he's putting in the pressure on himself here. All I'm trying to do is just allow it to happen by playing smart. So I played that to the end rail to get basically inside the 7 so that I can play just with the follow stroke or a punch stroke for the 8. High ball. Maybe a touch of inside English to get it to come straight off the rail. And then here's just like a stun shot and a stun shot. After the first 10 that I missed, the rest of these 10 balls, I'm definitely taking my time. All right, scores 4-1. Trying to figure my life out on the break here. Hit it softer. Made a ball. One of the things I try to do is be very consciously habitual, I guess is the right way to say it, where I'm trying to make sure that I do everything the same way as much as I can and automate every behavior. So I've decided that when I'm playing any sort of like important match, I'm going to move the magic rack and put it away every time before I start shooting, if I can. All right, so we're just going to come back, like go follow, and then play the cue ball to shoot the 3 in the same corner as I'm shooting the 2 in. I use a little bit of right English to get it to come a little bit narrower instead of being wide, because I want to make sure that I don't have to move the 4. So I'm going to shoot the 4. I think it's just a high ball shot. And I'd like to get an angle on the 7 to shoot it in the side, and then go to the end rail, and then use the window between the 10 and the rail to shoot the 8. And it's okay to get straighted on the 8 because the 9's right there. So I came up a little bit short. I wanted to be almost straight in. So now I'm a little bit full on that shot that I chose, that I wanted to shoot. So I like to just draw straight across, thinking, okay, if I bump the 10, barely to bump it, I should end up okay. But I hit it like basically perfect and ended up just right where I wanted to be, which is nice. So I'm coming across the zone there, so I'm happy that my speed is good. If my speed is out of whack, then that's not good. So here I just got to make sure I end up, I'm going to be off the rail because I have to cut it. I'm just trying to be really controlled about this so that I can just stay 100%, get this break and run. So end up good. Now I just got to follow to the other side of the table so I have a cut on the 10. Alright, so I got a break and run there, which was nice. Score's 5-1. Had made a pretty good break here. The only real trick is the 4-5, but it's like basically straight in combo. So if you can get on the 2 here, which is a little bit in the kind of like stretched out, looks like. I think you can go forward. Looks like the 1 cuts to the right slightly, so you can use the end rail. Yeah, looks like he just hit lower than he wanted to. I think you got to cut this to the left just to avoid any sort of weirdness with the scratch. Hit it good. A little bit too far. But now you can bank this ball in and play you got to play it with the good speed. It was the right shot given the circumstance. So I'm going to try to play the cue ball 1 rail, maybe 2 rails, back to that same spot that it's at. Just low and right. Didn't make it. Didn't leave him a great shot. Looks like you can bank this ball because the 5 makes it a big pocket. I'm not sure if that's the right shot or not. This is a good shot, really, if he's playing safe there. I end up having to use inside, like right English. And I don't think I have to mass say it, but I'm trying to hit it, just barely hit it, and then use the 5 kind of to stun the ball and hold it. Yep, and it worked out really nice. So now we got a little bit of a tricky situation. The 6, 7, 8. The 8 does not pass the 10 or the 7. And I'm not a big fan of banking the ball unless I have to. So I'm trying to figure out how to get some action there. So I'm playing this with, I believe, high inside and trying to create an angle to where I can use the 6, go to the end or the side rail, and then bump the 8 off the rail and use the 8 to like slow the cue ball down so I have the shot on the 7, but bump the 8 off the rail so I can make it into a pocket without banking it, which is what I do. You kind of just have to end up like, okay, well, where are we going to go now? So I have an angle to shoot the 7 and go to the end rail, or I can draw. Here I'm trying to cut it to the left and then use high ball with left English to go 4 rails. I didn't put enough left on it, so it came up long. So I pointed to where I wanted to be. This is still okay. I haven't missed any shots that were just like regular shots where I didn't have to do anything with the cue ball. I missed some where I was playing tough shape. So I'm pretty confident with my ball pocketing, just pure ball pocketing here. So I'm just going to elect to play this with just low and the touch of left straight down the rail and make it. All right, scores 6-1 now. It's my break. Made a ball, reasonable shot. The 8 is blocking just the edge of the left side of the hole. The 2 is right in front of the hole, so I'm planning to go underneath the 5 here, around the 5. Barely made it, but I did. Made sure not to touch the 8. So I'm just going to roll this up to play the 3 in the side using that window of the 4 and the 9. And then depending on the angle that we end up with, we're going to have to choose a shot for the 4. So I think I ended up going to be able to go to the side rail and then back to the middle of the table is what I want to shoot here. Here I like playing punch, one rail to the kind of straight in. Leave myself an angle, so now I can go one rail back to the middle of the table, or I can use draw and right to go to the shoot the 6 in the side. Hit that way too crazy. I was trying to get to the side rail, but like higher up. I didn't look at that enough. I needed to really hit that thin. Would have been a nice break and run, 2 in a row. So now, I think drawing out of this is good because it's on the opposite side from where you really want. Hit it really nice. Now here you can probably just draw straight back as well. Bear down, make this ball. I like playing this just high. Maybe a touch of right English. That was a good chance. Low right. All right, 7-1 now. So far, I feel like Ed hasn't gotten comfortable. He's mad. Looked maybe a little bit frustrated that he missed that 10 ball and put a little extra on this ball. I'm not sure. I know he just got that jump cue not too long ago, so he's working on that. But I'm getting a little bit hot, so I took my sweatshirt off. I generally like to be a little bit warm when I'm playing pool, so that it makes me feel like I can. My muscles are more relaxed. If I'm cold, I feel a little bit like it's tighter. Plus, I feel like if I'm warm, that means my blood is flowing. So I set myself up to be like warm all the time, so I have a shirt on underneath, and if I was to get really hot, then I could take off the undershirt and just play with the t-shirt. And I also have a sweatshirt. So here I'm just trying to like nip, draw. High and left to go forward. On this shot, I end up trying to punch out enough to go forward and shoot the 7 short side, which I had made sure that it went earlier because I wasn't sure if I was going to get the angle to like be able to play back to the middle of the table. I needed to put more left English on that or just hit it. I think left English. I needed to turn to check off the rail and come straight at the 7. I ended up over rolling, so I went too far. So now I got a back cut here. But the way I like to hit these back cuts, if I can, is play draw and a little bit of right, and that makes it kind of go the way that you want it to go. So now I just got to draw straight back here. Too full. So you can either draw one rail to 2 rails, might interfere with the 10, or if you like going forward, you can go high right, but it's a little steep for that, so I think probably drawing with left, punching it, drawing it. Yep. Oh, I got a bad bump there. He's just going to jump this ball, which this is like ideal situation to jump, because if all you have to do is just make it stop shot and then you have the 10. So I love this jump. Barely missed. Maybe I should have played for the bank shot here. I think I'm playing it with high right English. I'm close to the rail. So the high right would be like end rail, side rail, end rail, and then shooting like short side into the side pocket, because it does go in the side. And I just butchered it basically. I'm thinking about it, but like I said, you can't worry about it too much. And then Ed missed it. He's still thinking about it too. Didn't leave me a shot here. I play a safety. And I'm trying to use the 10 to block the 9 and just bump the 9 to the end rail. Barely didn't get it. Cuts it in, really nice, just overrolls speed a little bit too much. Leaves himself with the bank shot. It's a pretty routine bank, so I like this. That's why I was like thinking maybe I should have played for that originally. All right, 7-2 now. Dry break, slightly better. Cue ball. I'm trying to pop the cue ball. Leave it in the middle of the table, a la most of the pros. So we strive for that. tried to cut it and bump the balls to give him a better shot on the 2, which did happen, but missed the shot. I think I try to play for the side pocket here, so I'm shooting it very kind of like a finessey shot. When the ball's in the jaws, you have to be very careful about how it comes out of the pocket. Yeah, I could hit that a little bit better. Slightly thinner, I think, would have been the shot for me. So now I'm just going to cut the 2 in the side and go between the 10 and the 9. But I missed. Didn't leave much. I've been running good this set so far on my mistakes. I played a nice safety there. I can play one rail to the end rail, kick it out, or I can play to the side rail, but I need to play a lot of spin. I end up shooting that shot, the side rail with a lot of spin, because I know if I make it, then the cue ball is probably going to float and give me a shot on the 3 somehow. I barely touched the ball, but I ended up getting safe. So you can like one rail and try to make it, or you can one rail kick and stick here, which is good also. Trying to make it, but the risk, of course, is that the scratch can happen. I'm a little bit confused as to what to do here, I think. I think in retrospect I should have probably, I don't even know what shot I shot. Oh yeah, I tried to draw straight back. Bumped the 9. Not really straight back, I was trying to draw it with a little bit of an angle to get good straight on the 3 so I could shoot the 3 and then go one rail for the 4. But it's all good. I like playing safe, so my normal safety, thin one ball to the end rail, and then go 2 to 3 rails to the other end rail with the cue ball, and use anything that's there as blockers. So, and those are just speed shots. You spend a little bit of energy on it. You can see it's just a skill. Ed tries to jump it. Now I'm in a good spot here. Just play one rail with right English and stun to get roughly straight in on the 4 or a little bit of angle, either way. Main thing is you just don't want to be on the rail. You gotta have open space for your bridge hand as much as you can. It makes the game so much easier. I'm just trying to play where I'm not going to go behind any balls for the rest of this out, so I can just make sure that I stay on the shots. So I would like to play a draw shot there. I could have left myself more angle and then gone like 3 rails with inside, but then I could have potentially came up short. So I just decided to draw the ball straight back by playing a straighter angle on the 6. Now here I'm just playing for the side. Again, the reason why is I don't want to move the cue ball too much. Wherever I end up in the side pocket shot, I can manage to stay below the 9, so I don't have to worry about going forward. Here it is, or you just play, I went a little bit too far here. I think I can just twist it in slightly. If I got more angle, I would draw to the other side. Yeah, I just twisted it a little bit. And now we're back to routine 10 ball. All right, score's 8-2. Ed's break. That one was sweet. So he left me. I can't do anything but just hit it, and because the cue ball could double kiss or just go one rail or just off the one into the corner, I ended up just playing it as soft as possible, and then just try to kick it full, and not even do anything. And this is just like a stalemate situation. I'm forcing him to make a legal shot, and my assumption is that I'll be able to work with that and try to create a little bit more. So he just kicks one rail into it and hits it really nice. So I'm trying to bank the one up to the side rail, like one diamond up, and then I know that the one's going to hit the 5, and I'm trying to use inside English to make the 5 be in the way, which is actually what happened, although I was trying to play the 1 higher up. So he's forced to kick at it. That's good speed on that kick. Actually, yeah, this is a really nice save. I ended up having to go 1 rail to the left and try to kick the 1 in. I can't do anything going where the 6 and the 8 are. I suppose I could have maybe looked at shooting the 2 rail between the 5 and the 4. I'm not sure if that's there or not. I didn't even really look at it. All I know is I had to hit this better. I think I put too much right English and made it turn downhill too much. I think I would have hit it if the 2 wasn't there. But I definitely didn't make it. So Ed's got ball in hand here. I think you just draw straight out. Shoot the 2 in the same corner. Try to leave yourself an angle. Like such. Draw 1 rail and bump the 6. Bumped it, which is fine. He's still good here. Maybe a little bit on the opposite side, on the wrong side of the ball. Yeah, maybe that caused him to hit it too full. Trying to make sure to get on the 4. way overcut that one. Not sure what was going on with that. Was just trying to play two rails back to the middle of the table. Maybe I was worried about scratching. So I used inside English there and tried to play. I think that if it hit the rail first or the ball first, it could have worked out. That was why I shot it that way. Rail first would have like been a full hit, which is kind of what happened there on the kicking it, and that slows the cue ball down enough. And then also hitting on the way in, using the maximum left would get it to check and come straight up table. That was my thought process. So now my main concern here is give myself an angle from the 6 to the 8. I end up seeing it straight in, so I'm trying to draw back. And I just cut it a little bit too much. So now we're in a weird zone. If I cut it to the left, I have to bump the 8 nice. And if I cut it to the right, I got to control my cue ball all the way back to the same kind of spot where the 6 is or above that, but not hook behind the 9. So I end up just saying I can make the 6 and bump the 8, and it looks like it's really nice to just hit it full. So I just got to hit it soft, and that was worked out for me. Barely did not scratch, but I did not scratch.
That's good. What is going on?
Question for you. Do you know how buying a business works? Like, is that's way different than real
So I
estate?
know what?
How buying a business works?
Play 3 rails,
Imagine it's if you
a
wanted to
little
buy a
short.
fully operational
It's
business, what
fine.
you have is a contract between the owner of the business
Mm-hmm.
and what they're going to sell you like their LLC. And it's fully operational. It should already have, payrolls already set up and
Mm-hmm.
receivables and payables and you know what I mean? It's all there
Mm-hmm.
already. So it's really just offering money.
Got it.
Do you have a business in mind?
Well, so I was looking at LoopNet for the businesses that were for sale because I was thinking,
Low
like,
left
if
or
I
low
can
right,
find a
and
spot